Now here's the thing. Sometimes when you're solving equations involving absolute values, some interesting things can happen. I should warn you, if you're taking notes from this video, watch the first minute or two of this first before you start writing notes. It's just to make sure you leave yourself enough room for whatever you want to write later. So, you might be tempted to start solving this equation like this. Well, if mod 2x is equal to x minus 3, that means x minus 3 equals 2x, or x minus 3 is negative 2x. Now I've deliberately left some space here, and I'm going to use this space as well, after I show you what happens, what goes wrong. So let's have a look. If x minus 3 is 2x, take x away from both sides, minus 3 equals x. And if x minus 3 is negative 2x, what am I going to do? I'm going to take x away from both sides. Negative 3 is negative 3x, which means 1x is 1. But there's a problem, and the problem will become clear if I try substituting this in to work out what the y value would be. So if x is negative 3, then x minus 3 is equal to negative 3 take 3, which is negative 6. But negative 6 cannot be an absolute value because it's negative. And on this side, if x is equal to 1, then let's have a look at x minus 3. That means x minus 3 is equal to 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. But negative 2 cannot be an absolute value. So what's going on here? Well, the key is to remember what this actually means. Okay, mod 2x actually means 2x if 2x is greater than or equal to 0, and negative 2x if 2x is less than 0. So in this case, assuming it's equal to 2x, I should be writing if 2x is greater or equal to 0. And over here I should be writing if 2x is less than 0. Because then I'm going to see my problem straight away. And in fact, when I write this later, I usually don't even write the if. I just thought I'd write it to show you. So, x is negative 3 if 2x is greater than or equal to 0 is not possible. And x equal to 1 if 2x is less than 0 is also not possible. So in fact, this equation has no solutions at all. So what's actually going on here? Well, it's possible for me to show you by drawing a graph. Let me get the calculator out. So, let's graph the absolute value, that one there, of 2x, and let's graph x minus 3. X minus 3. And you can see straight away that these two graphs do not intersect. But this point here, negative 3, negative 6, would be down here. If I were to continue this line down, how can I show you that? Let me draw negative absolute value of 2x, just to show you where that graph's going. So, this line intersects this one here at negative 3, negative 6. And this line intersects this one here at 1, -2. So those two solutions are in some sense solutions to 2x equals x minus 3 and -2x equals x minus 3. That's where those points are. But if I don't have this part of it, because I've asked for the absolute value, there's actually no intersection between this blue mod 2x and this red x minus 3. So just be careful when you're solving more complex equations involving absolute value to always say what the conditions are and then check them when you get your final solution. Check to make sure you're still satisfying it. If not, it's not a valid solution. You can actually, if you want to, solve this kind of equation graphically. Now, if it's a technology exam, tech active exam, then you could just draw the graphs, sketch the graph and say there's no intersection point. If it's a tech-free exam, you would have to quickly sketch that graph using the techniques you've already learnt. Sketch that one, sketch the straight line and show they don't meet. It's a valid solution, but it might be a little trickier depending on whether you prefer algebra or sketching graphs by hand.